Philip Kirkpatrick,
Here.
Robert Babcock,
Here.
Frank Berry, Shane Morris.
Frank went to Kansas, and he probably...
Yeah, he called me, he said he had a doctor's appointment and wasn't coming home till tomorrow. Okay?
Item 2, board discussion, possible action on presentation of annual financial audit by S&B CPA.
We are doing that via phone, so I am calling him right now on the phone. I'm going to put it on speaker so hopefully we can hear him. Good afternoon, Jay. This is Mr. Weber.
Yes, sir.
You're on my speaker, so you may have to talk a little loud.
Okay.
Can everyone hear me?
Ready?
We are ready, yes, sir.
Okay, if you'll turn to page 4.
Page what?
Page 4.
We have 2 letters in the audit. First is the opinion on the financial statements. It's a qualified opinion because we do not present general fixed assets. We don't need to. We don't do a depreciation schedule because we don't file a tax return. There's no reason to. We buy them, use them up, and then we get dispose of them and buy new. It's also an adverse opinion because we don't show it in generally accepted accounting principles. We present it in a regulatory bed by the state of Oklahoma, which is a modified cash, which means we record the revenues when we receive them and the expenditures when we issue a PO, even before we spend the money. So it's very conservative and reduces your budget when we issue that PO. You turn to page 7. This is our balance sheet, and we'll go through the general fund, and the rest of them we'll go through later on back. General fund, we have $236,000. We have $34,282 of warrants payable. And we have unassigned, which is only in the general fund. Everything else is restricted to the building fund or the child nutrition fund. For $202,000, this is where we pay our general operations for the school. For a total balance of $236,000. You turn to page 8. If I get going too fast, stop me and I'll answer any questions you have. This is the income statement. And we'll go through the general, and back behind the footnotes, we'll go through the special revenue. We received $2.53 million from all sources. We spent $1.269. You can see instruction and supporting services are the biggest items. That's mainly transportation, teacher salaries, everything that goes into the classroom. So you can see we don't have much left over when we're done. We had a decrease in the fund balance of $16,000. We had a stop to warrants of $600. These are old checks that we brought back in for an ending fund balance of $202,322. Page 9 is the same as page 8. The only difference is it's the budget back. If there would have been a change in the budget, you'd have had to have a supplemental appropriation. We'd have had to take that to the board before you could spend those funds. The board would have known about it and had to approve it if there would have been any changes. Page 11 or 10, probably through 15 through 17 is your notes to your financial statement. There's a lot of good information in here. It tells you about your funds, your budget. If you haven't read them, you need to, but part you don't want to start over. Page 13 is starting long-term debt. And we're going to make some changes before we issue this to the state. I didn't realize that years ago we acquired $401,000 to do the roofs, and I guess we did not expend all that money, and a former superintendent turned it back, and we didn't fully use all the money that was in the lease purchase, so we didn't have to pay all that back.
Okay, can you stop for a second so I can explain?
Last year.
Okay. Can you stop for a second so I can kind of explain to him because I'm kind of getting the look on me?
Okay.
Okay, that was the roof when we put the roof on the first time.
Okay.
We didn't quite spend all the money,
Yeah.
so it shows here that we still owe until 2026. That has been paid off officially since November of 2022. So we actually did not make the last payments of those other monies. So he is removing that.
That
Okay,
one will go away, we'll take that off.
all right.
And then also, the next one, we'll take the last payment off, because you guys paid those two lease payments off, the 24-25 and 25-26 off this year. So the 26-27 money was turned back.
We're still on page 14. We're still on page 14. He is talking right there where it says the 110,000 right here. We paid everything off this year for the heating AC units. We had a little extra money, so we made a final payment in January. So that is officially completely paid off. Where it shows that we owe until 2027, that will be
Yeah.
removed as of January 6, 2025. It's paid off completely. So this page as of next year will be gone,
All right,
unless for some reason we do a lease purchase.
Get that fixed.
all right.
If you'll turn to page 17, talk about the employee retirement system. In 24, we paid $117,000 in teachers' retirement for our teachers, our support staff, and all our employees. In 23, we paid $103,000. In 22, we paid $121,000. All right, on page 18, again, I told you we'll go through the special revenue. This is a reflection of the special revenue on page 7. Building fund has $47,000. Child nutrition has $12,755, for a total cash and cash equivalents in the special revenue of $60,000. Go down to the next page. This is on page 8. This is a breakout of special revenue for our income statement on page 8.
You're right, go to page 19. This is the same information is on page 8. This is just a bigger version.
Yeah. This is a breakout of what's on page 8, so on page 19. We have revenues collected in the building fund of $1.18 billion and collected revenue in the child nutrition fund of $33,000 for a total of $1.2 million. We expended $1.465 on supporting services in the building fund and $30,000 on cafeteria for a total of $1.496 for the year.
The reason that was
$273,000.
And the reason that was so big in that year, that's when we got that insurance premium money to put the new roof on the school and to do the new gym floor. That's why that building fund was so big.
Okay. So any fund balance in the building fund and in the special revenue is $60,108. Page 20, it's the same as page 19. The only difference is it's a budget to action. Like I said earlier, if you'd have had a change in the budget, we'd have had to issue a supplemental appropriation, and you would have known about it. Page 21, these are our activity funds. We don't show these on the income statement because they don't belong to the school. They belong to each one of these activities. If you notice, each one of these sponsors has the same responsibility as the treasurer and the encumbrance clerk. They have to receive the money when they receive it from the student. They have to turn it into the activity fund custodian on a daily basis, and the custodian has to deposit when it reaches $100. That's for all accounts. Then they have to get a PO, get it approved. After they get it approved, then they can buy the items requested, get an invoice, sign it. That way if something, we have questions, we know who to go talk to about those items. We received $70,000 in receipts, and we spent $73,000. We ended with $35,513. One of the things, we look at all these pretty hard, because it's something that we don't do the things right. The school's not responsible if something happens to that money. The student's not responsible. They turned it in, it's that sponsor. So we look at it to protect them and make sure they're doing the right things to protect themselves. As Pat always said, if there's an opportunity, somebody's going to have a need. And somebody's gonna be in trouble. Page 22 is a reconciliation of our deposit. Page 23 is our schedule of federal awards.
Hang on one second, they're still flipping.
Okay,
Okay, you're good to go.
I can get going pretty fast because I can pretty well do this if I sleep anymore. We spent $94,000 of federal money. And if you look out there to the right, we have money down at the bottom for child nutrition to yet to spend. This is what's left from COVID. They just kept sending us money and everybody was free. So we didn't spend. They sent us all kinds of money. Everybody's got this problem. And those monies will have to be spent eventually, but we don't, nobody said when we have to have them spent by. So,
Right here. This far right column where it talks about these different funds here, where it has
yeah,
it
there's 7,000.
759, 761, 763, all those, and that's the total that we still have left. That we supposedly have left to spend still.
And those tie out to what the state shows. So, page 24 and 25 is our second letter. This is a letter on internal control. This is where we look at everything else. We look at your salaries, your teacher's retirement. If you had bids, we look at that. We read your minutes, your POs, your receipts. We look at your bank statements. Anything and everything has to do with the financial accounting. This is where we get, and it's a clean opinion. And page 26, there were no findings this year. We did a clean report. Now, one of the things I talked to Brian about today, one of the things is that is the child nutrition fund. I called Pat Carroll when we talked about it, and we recommend that you close out your child nutrition fund and move everything to the general fund. Because you don't have enough money in the child nutrition fund to do everything, to expend everything. Because Brian's kind of you're the cook, right?
Yes, sir.
So moving that money, he's in the general fund, moving that money around just gives us better, we need to code some of his salaries to the child nutrition, we use up those funds. So what we'll do is we'll issue you a transfer and you'll put it on the board agenda and get it approved. And then Pat will do a supplemental appropriation to move the child nutrition to the general fund. Is there any questions on that?
Does that have to be approved by the state?
No.
No.
No,
Just-
just by the board.
Okay.
And that will close out child
It gives you
nutrition.
some more freedom. Because your money's in your general fund, it's not the child nutrition. You can see that. There's just not enough money in there to spend it.
Yeah.
Plus, you would have to, the other thing you'd have to do was have a loan agreement from the child nutrition fund to the general fund to supplement it, or we're going to have to code some of those monies that we receive from the state, the federal money, to the general fund so we can expend those funds. It's just easier and cleaner to close the child nutrition fund and do it all from there from now on. And we have a lot of schools that have done this, so you're not the first one.
I think they're good.
Okay. Well, we appreciate it. It was a very clean audit. Everything went good this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
That's what we got. Clean audits. Who's calling back? This is Mr. Weber. Yes,
I
sir.
forgot, you've got some papers to sign.
Yes, sir.
There's one where everybody signs it, and then you need to notarize it. You keep the original and send me a copy.
Okay.
There is a attorney letter there that I need you to sign. I assume nobody's suing you right now.
No, sir. No, sir. We're in good standing.
Then there's another letter that the front page, I need a copy on your letterhead, put the front page, and then you sign it, and basically says, what took us 4 pages, so basically says, you gave us everything we asked for, and everything we asked for was correct, to the best of your knowledge.
Okay.
And then the board president signs it because we got the board minutes, and he's signing to say that we got copies of all the board minutes.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think she put stickers on everything that has to be signed, so I've got it all set in here.
I just thought I better go through it real quick and make sure.
We appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Item 3.
No, sir. We got to finish number 2.
Oh, okay.
We got a what?
We got to vote the board discussion, possible action on presentation to, we never finished that one. So someone's got to make a motion.
Move to
There you go.
But accept.
Babcock, and who's my second?
I'll second.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Item 3, consent agenda. The following items of a routine nature normally approved at board meetings will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. Consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and approval of the following items.
Make a motion we approve.
I'll second it.
I was just seeing.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Item 4, board discussion, possible action on any items removed from the consent agenda.
No action.
Item 5, board discussion, possible action on swearing in of board member Shane Morris,
We need to table
No.
5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Yes, sir. Because we don't really want to realign the board without swearing in our president.
Okay. Need a motion on that?
No, sir. If we're just tabling it, we do not. Okay?
Item 7, board to sign any documents as needed.
Here is your minutes to sign.